couldn't believe that a guy whose managerial CV boasts a season and a half at Sheffield Wednesday, his biggest achievement in management was a 12th place finish in the second tier English football. On no basis should that have qualified him as an entry standard for the discussion about potentially becoming the next manager of Rangers. I think it was a mistake at the time. I think it was led by arrogance because of the belief that Kevin Thirlwell had that if you've managed for 2 minutes in England, you'll squish it up in Scotland. And I think the lack of experience has really been amplified in the post-split fixtures. 3 games, 3 defeats. Games a bogey. And I feel that coming back to the chat that we were having previously, you look at your Derek McInnes, look at your Martin O'Neill, John McGlynn. Jens Bertolasko is a bit of an outlier, isn't he? He's done a terrific job. He is an experienced guy, but not top level experience. But kind of an outlier in this. Neil Lennon taking Dunfermline. The evidence is there. Experience sometimes seems to get treated like a dirty word in Scottish football. For me, the only flip side, the only thing that might save Danny Rohl for me is that they consider that he's had these 6 months, which is quite a learning curve, and will help him to be a more experienced manager for next season. But I think there's a big danger that Rangers stick with him, that the fans are a bit angsty about that, and if they get off to a slow start to the new season, they'll be looking for a new manager a couple of months in. So I think, I've been saying this pretty consistently, Daniel. I think we're at decision time now for Rangers. I think they've got to make their mind up on this.
In the comments, Ryan, Quadruple Treble says Danny Rohl doesn't have the minerals for what's required. Ibrox Marzino says Danny Rohl was sent to bed without his dinner by Daddy Martin O'Neill. Is there enough body of evidence there to give Danny Rohl next season, or certainly to go into next season?
I don't know, mate. Listen, I think when you strip it all back, he wasn't first choice. I was surprised when he got the job. When he came in, I think the job he done to get them into a title race, you can look at it in 2 ways and say Celtic dropped loads of points, or however you look at it. He got them into a title race. I think when they got into the title race, I think he's been found wanting. I think that I witnessed both the games, and I said it at Tynecastle when I was covering the game. They both went in at half time, and it was probably both managers' biggest team talks tactically and just in about their players for them to come out for that second half, because there was so much riding on that game, especially for Rangers, and the fact that they had to win it.
Yeah.
And he had to make a substitution. Obviously, I was there. Scovolson was an absolute disgrace in that first 45 minutes. He was horrendous. So you have to take him off. You have to make a decision and say, look, he's not. Bring somebody on, a bit of impotence. You know, Hearts are going to come out. They're 1-0 down. They're going to have to come out and have a go at it. And he waited until something happened. And by that time, it was too late. You then look at Derek McInnes. He changed it straight away, brought Blair Spittle on. And I thought Derek McInnes beat him. I thought that was the difference. And again, you look at the weekend. They go to half time. Martin O'Neill makes a change. He doesn't. And Celtic go out and do what they do in the second half. And then again, it's once Celtic score, was it the third goal, that he then makes this triple substitution. And I'm like, it's too late then. It's too late.
Yeah.
Caveated with, if he came out after the Hearts game, his press conference after the Hearts game was shocking. Because I sat there in the stand and I watched players laughing with Hearts players who are obviously international teammates. And straight away I said it on air. Could you imagine doing that if that was Walter Smith and Archie Knox? You have to understand the responsibility of playing for one of the old firm teams. I mean, you've just lost the title. You go and you clap your fans, you go in that changing room, and I would not be coming out the house until the Old Firm game. Genuinely, I'd be going to training, going home, I'd be getting my missus to go for the shopping. I would be doing everything I could to go to Celtic and try and win and then just hope that the wheels fall off Hearts as well, that you can sort of maybe even, and it's a massive outside chance, but they're sitting there like kind of keying and giggling on the pitch in front of cameras. He then comes out and says, yeah, it's been, there's been progress, we've done okay, I'm kind of happy with how things have gone, and bloody, you're the manager of Rangers, and you've just lost a title race away to Hearts. It's unforgivable for me, and I've seen a lot of the Rangers fans, and then obviously added to yesterday's performance, which they go 1-0 up, and I think, all right, okay. And the same again, they play well for 30 minutes, and then they fall off a cliff. Like it's like they have no in between. It is literally they play okay or they're absolutely stinking. So the board have got a massive decision to make, and I wonder. Last week with all the stuff coming out that there's teams in Germany looking at Danny Rohl, was that his agent putting stuff out there because he's maybe thinking he's reading the writing on the wall that he's under pressure, maybe doesn't fancy it. Loads of these guys come up here and they do not realise what it is to play for Rangers or Celtic, and it is manage Rangers and Celtic, and he might just be thinking, I cannot handle this. He's a young coach, a young manager. For me, Rangers need a manager. They need a proper manager, as Celtic did, and I've got in Martin O'Neill.
What's your gut feeling, Ryan? Do you think he'll start the season as Rangers manager?
No, I think he'll go. I think when the season ends, I think they have to make the decision. They have to move him on, and they have to be looking to bring in a proper manager. Again, all that aside, 40 million, between 30 and 40 million, and they literally went out with a whimper. That is not good enough for Rangers. That is not good enough for the fans. That is too big a club to be spending that amount of money to go out in a whimper. And do you know what I blame it on? The manager's obviously got his CD players not fit. There's a handful of players that are fit to wear that jersey. See the rest of them, nowhere near it. They do not understand the responsibility to wear that shirt. So
do you know what I think staggering, Steve-O? There's a wee boy in there. He's an 18-year-old. He seems to fully understand. He's not even a Rangers player. He understands. Wee Mikey Moore gets it.
Yeah.
He understands the size of the responsibility, the size of the football club, the onus on players to perform for their fans. And this is a wee guy who's 18 years old and is a Spurs player.
Yeah.
And he seems to get it more than some of the senior pros in that dressing room. And I think that's an affront.
Has any Rangers manager survived, or Celtic manager for that, survived finishing third? I don't think anyone has, have they?
Well, that's another thing from Andrew Kavanagh's perspective, isn't it? He spent £40 million to finish third now.
That's what I'm saying.
They were finishing second before the 40 million.
And to be fair, do you know what? I listened to Boydie, and he was saying about the nucleus of Scottish players, and he's 100% right in what he's saying is, see, half these players, do not be kidded. They will get on the plane in a week. In fact, they'll go on the plane on Sunday, and they'll shoot away to Dubai, or they'll shoot back to their homeland. Do you think they'll care about Rangers? I'm questioning that. I'm questioning the fact, will they go home to wherever they come from and think, I've let Rangers down this year, I'm going to train even harder to come back and win the title next year? I don't think they will, because I don't think enough of them understand the responsibility of playing for a club that size.
It didn't look that way at Tynecastle, did it, Keith? There was plenty of people.
Nah, listen, they've checked out. And this is what I'm saying. But it's been. I remember it was going back to Hibs when Rangers dropped a couple of points at Easter Road. I remember coming on the show that night saying, why is it left to Mikey Moore to come off the bench? This 18-year-old kid, Spurs player. He was the one guy showing a bit of urgency and desire, trying to turn things around. I'm afraid Danny Rohl mentioned after Tynecastle that he felt his midfielders were lazy and going about their work. That's a team that's checked out. That's a team that aren't winners. That's a weak-willed group of players that aren't at first if they win something or if they don't.